What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another album review, and today, talking about a band I never heard of before until now. I am talking about the fourth studio full-length from Wode, Uncrossing the Keys. This also came out on October 3rd, this time on 20 bucks spin, and this is a band from England, and I saw on the archives, well, I was curious to check this out because 20 bucks spin rarely, if at all, misses. But I saw that this band was described as black metal early and then blackened death metal later. So I was kind of curious to check this out. Like, ooh, and I saw the list of bands they were compared to. I saw they were compared to bands like Dissection and Necrophobic. So I was thinking it was probably going to be in like that realm of blackened death metal. Well, this album's very, very strange, I gotta admit. So, starting right out of the gate with two crossed keys, to me it doesn't really sound much like a blackened death metal album to start off. It kind of sounded more like blackened speed metal or something like that. Kind of more along the lines of bands like, I would say, Midnight and like Bewitcher and those kind of bands. It starts off with these like more like D-beat gallops and evil melodies, and you do get some pretty cool drum build and nasty vocals. I will admit the vocals on this album are particularly gruesome sounding, like they kind of sit in between black metal and death metal, but you do get some pretty cool triplet chugs that come along in the song, and it kind of has like this marching rhythm to it and some groove, but then suddenly it turns from evil to sleazy. Like it's got a sleazy melody that goes hand in hand with like atonal melodies. Now, lead work wise on the album, there's only a few leads on here, and they were solid for what they were. But as far as like the vibes that I got from this album, like it didn't really come across as evil. It came across more like sleazy and at times even gothic. Like under Lantern Light, this one kind of has a push and pull dynamic where it goes from starting out like Midnight, like it starts off with like a sleazy riff and a D beat. It's got some classic heavy metal charm to it. It's got a nice driving bass line and it's pretty rockin'. But then it does turn to like almost like more recent Tribulation, like particularly Down Below. Like it kind of has that vibe, and like even down to the vocals, like they kind of remind me a little bit of Tribulation around the time of Down Below in 2018. Saturn Shadow. I'm out of it today. I only got 6 hours of sleep, so yeah, I'm pretty loopy still. But this song is probably the closest you really get to blackened death metal. It's got like cool drum, bass, and guitar atmosphere building up, and then it gets into these like off-time triplet rhythms that kind of remind me a little bit of Necrophobic. But I will say the transitions, and honestly this is a common issue I had with this album, where a lot of the transitions just felt very jagged, very odd, and weren't really all that smooth. Like I just couldn't understand why they transition a lot of these moments so strangely. Like I just couldn't quite understand. But I did like the cool blast beat at the very end. Transmutation, this one actually brings in some nuance with like more doom metal in here. Like there's doom grooves with somber melodies, but it does get into like more up-tempo riffing. Same goes for Prisoner of the Moon. Like this one actually starts off pretty well with some nice harmonies, and you get like an up-tempo gallop with some tremolo riffs coming in. So finally some tremolo riffs come in that kind of give it more of a black metal vibe, but it does get doomy later on. Fiery End, this for the most part is like a blackened speed metal classic heavy metal song. Like, although I will say the classic metal riff that starts this one off just felt weird. It kind of felt out of place on this track, but afterwards it does get a little bit better. Like I said, it gets a little bit more up-tempo, and it's got some cool D beats going. But Lash of the Tyrant This one is really where I got a lot more dynamic and things kind of come together a little bit better. Same with the track Dashed on the Rocks, but Lash of the Tyrant starts off with tremolo on top of an odd time, off time groove with some atonal progressions, and it does get a little bit more melodic, and you get some black metal tremolo and blast, but you do get some more standard grooves, some triplet rhythms, some doom coming in, and then like blasts and D beats going back and forth with each other at the end. The track Phantom, it was just a melodic tremolo doom interlude to lead into the final track Dashed on the Rocks. This was easily the best song on the album. It's got a cool, dark, clean melody with a lead melody going on top, and it builds up to arguably a triumphant melody before it goes into blasts and tremolo and even gets thrash metal at times. There's even some like pretty cool twang on the guitars and a nice triplet swing. So at least the album ended pretty well with that track and to a lesser degree Lash of the Tyrant. But I'm going to be honest with you, and production wise, it's raw, it's gritty, but the mix is fairly decent. However, this album just felt like a bunch of ideas just crammed together into one, and it just did not sound cohesive to me really much at all. Like, at no point apart from Lash of the Tyrant and Dashed on the Rocks, because those were longer songs, that meant they had more to work with on those tracks, but literally, and the album's average song length is about 4.5 minutes, so you'd think they'd be able to get all these ideas perfectly placed, but it just didn't really come across that way. It just kind of came across as like mishmash of like doom metal, black and death, classic metal, goth, and speed metal. It just felt like they were trying to cram together all these ideas into one album, and it just didn't come together smoothly. So for those reasons, I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5. It's not bad per se. It's average at best, mediocre at worst. There's some potential here. I will admit there is potential here. Maybe if they do another album soon, fix some of the mistakes and come out with a banger. Like, I'm fully confident this band can do it. But for me, this just wasn't quite there. It didn't quite land for me. So yeah, 2.5 out of 5 for this one. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But until next time, thank you for watching, keep your horns high, and your dreams wet.